Reaction pouring in after the United States and Israel launched a series of strikes on Iran overnight. Let's bring in retired Brigadier General John Teichert. He flew the F-22, so he knows an awful lot about what's going on. Good to see you again, John. Thanks for being with us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
You got the F-22 on your lapel there as well. Here's what the president said to the Iranian people in that message that he released this morning. Listen here.
Finally, to the great, proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered. Don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want.
The biggest combat mission, as far as I know, for the F-22 in its history, and they're performing in broad daylight. This is a platform that is just extraordinary.
It is, and I think it was very savvy to strike during the daylight hours. I think the Iranians were caught vulnerable. They were caught complacent. And I think that means that those strike packages that the F-22 were a part of had greater strategic effect because the Iranians didn't expect it to come.
General, great to have you on the program. I also want to play this out. Senator Tom Cotton reacted earlier, and he is talking about possible regime change and said this. Listen.
This poisonous regime, and that's why I'm proud to stand with our military. I'm proud to stand with Israel too. I might be a Democrat, but in this specific case, the president is absolutely correct to do these kinds of actions. And now we have Israel's back. And now that's why it's entirely the path for peace in that region. How many treaties, how much negotiation? I never thought they would work. Iran has only ever responded to these kinds of things. And now here we are right now, and they have the opportunity, real peace, and to change their way, committed to trying to destroy Israel and destabilizing the entire region. These were things are necessary.
Well, the president has been clear now for months that, as he put it, the best thing that could happen for the United States, for our friends, and for that matter, the people of Iran, is to have a different regime as opposed to theocratic revolutionary dictators who have spread chaos, mayhem, and terror, not just in Iran, but radiating across the world for 47 years. I can't predict that'll happen. At the moment, we're focused on the threat to the United States, their missile program, and their nuclear program. But as the president said, that's the best thing that could happen for the civilized world and for the people of Iran.
Well, General, obviously that was first Senator Fetterman weighing in and throwing his support behind this move from President Trump, the administration. But Senator Tom Cotton, talking about possible regime change, I would ask you to weigh in on that, please, sir.
Well, I think thus far there have been two primary target sets, which have been command and control or decapitating the Iranian leadership, both military and civilian, and then those ballistic missiles that could be a threat to U.S. forces. But I think now the president's promise fulfilled that we're locked and loaded and help is on the way, that it's incumbent upon the Iranian people to take their responsibility seriously and start rising up again. And I think the third target set at that point would be internal security sites so that we can provide top cover to help the Iranian people provide the last death nail to the Iranian regime.
So how do you see the days ahead unfolding? Because the president has said that this is the beginning of a multi-day, if not a multi-week operation. Though he did tell Axios just a little while ago that there may be several off-ramps for Iran to take, should they take it. And we keep getting these reports out of Israel from Netanyahu that the leadership may not be around anymore. So what does that tell you about the days ahead and what the tempo of U.S. operations will be?
John, I think that we continue to go after those target sets. I think the command and control so that Iran is fighting deaf, dumb, and blind. And then those ballistic missile threats, about 1,000 of them, that really is the only way that Iran has to project power. And you don't strike the individual missiles. You strike the launchers and the warehouses and the production facilities. And I think the combination of those two targets, standing by for internal security sites if the protests start rising up, are where we're going to continue to be focused in the days ahead.
Right. General, going back to Senator Tom Cotton's comments there, finishing off by saying at the moment we're focused on the threat to the United States, their missile program and their nuclear program. As far as the threat to the United States, how do you see that?
I think right now we're taking care of our servicemen and women in the region. About 40,000 baseline force members in the region, plus another 10,000 or so extra. I think that the leadership of U.S. Central Command is going to be focusing on defending our force posture in the region and then taking the fight to the adversary and destroying those ballistic missiles so they can't continue to be a threat.
You know, the last time that we saw a purely air war that was successful, to the best of my recollection, was the war over Serbia, when NATO bombed Slobodan Milosevic and his cronies. And eventually they surrendered and they went away, and then Serbia returned to a functional democracy, and everything has been relatively good in Serbia since. There are wars that you have to fight on the ground. Do you think that an air campaign can affect the change that the president wants to see here?
John, I think if we focus on those target sets and then provide the top cover for whatever internal dissent can rise up, then I think there is a possibility for success. And I think those Starlink terminals that were covertly imported into Iran during the last several weeks are not just a way for the protesters to coordinate amongst one another, but I firmly believe they're a way for us to coordinate with them so that we can see the type of outcome on the ground from the protesters that we need to see successful regime change.
All right. It's going to be very interesting to watch this in the days ahead. General, thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks, John.
Thank you. All right, mixed reaction, meanwhile, from lawmakers in Washington to the U.S. and Israeli strikes on Iran. We are going to have updates on all of this.